SMU at Virginia. Virginia catching 9.5 points here at home. SMU has been an absolute buzzsaw this season with one loss there to BYU, who is a sure contender there in the Big 12 as long as they can hold it together here the last couple of weeks. Virginia has been kind of a snake in the grass, Mason. Last week, Virginia was able to make me some money, right? They were they were able to keep some of these games close. Were able to beat Pitt. That was the one I was betting on. I was trying to figure out which one it was. Go on the road, lose at Notre Dame this past weekend. I think that was pretty expected. Could have been a lot worse. 5 turnovers in the game. Virginia has been a team that's been really inconsistent. They gave up a lot of points to North Carolina, a lot of points to Clemson earlier this season. Had a really close game with Louisville, held that awesome offense in check there, able to beat Boston College. So it's been kind of a tale. Lost to Maryland. That's not a good team. So it's been really inconsistent here. Very, very, very much inconsistent. SMU has been super consistent, right? And I want to kind of let me go back here on my notes. I just wanted to kind of look at this. ESPN has got a 78.2% matchup predictor in favor of SMU in this one. Kevin Jennings, ever since he's taken over for SMU, has really tore it up. 151 of 231 this season, 2,198 yards, 15 touchdowns. Been very impressive on the ground as well. Helped that Russian attack out a lot. Virginia has got a bunch of dudes that you really just have never even heard of. Most of them, right? Not a lot of people have watched Virginia football. Calandria, the quarterback, been pretty good. Lots of interceptions this season. Here's the matchup that's going to make or break this. SMU has been great at defending the run this year, Mason. So I'm not sitting here thinking that Virginia is going to be very good on the ground. SMU has not been good at defending teams through the air. They've given up a lot of yards through the air. I'm interested to see in this one if Virginia is able to get something going by way of the passing game, right? That's going to be the big thing. Don't think they're going to be able to run the ball very well. What are your thoughts on this one as Virginia is catching 9.5 here? I feel like your brain tells you. We just talked about Ole Miss or Florida. If you missed that, go check out the clip on our video section. I feel like this is another one of those games this week, Mason, that Vegas is begging you to bet on SMU because the conventional wisdom and just what we've seen this year would make you think that SMU is absolutely going to kill Virginia. But going on the road in an environment that you don't know anything about, SMU being brand new to the ACC, obviously Vegas thinks something's up here, and there's still a possibility. And not to mention 58.5 points. That's a ton. Vegas is expecting a high-scoring game here.
Yeah, and I think it's because Virginia, like you said, their best asset on offense is their passing game, and that's where SMU is weakest at. And then you look on the other side of the football, and SMU, I mean, they're best at running the football, but they can pass the game. I mean, SMU is a balanced attack, in my opinion. I think that I think since Jennings has come in, they've gotten pretty balanced and can pass the football really well. But similar to SMU's defense, Virginia does not defend the pass very well. They're decent against the run, but you still give SMU the edge in the run game as well. Look, to be completely honest and transparent here, I have not watched a single Virginia game through its entirety, right? Like, this will be my first time getting a really solid glimpse at Virginia and what the Cavaliers are going to be doing defensively, offensively, all that. But it looks like, just based on some of the stats on the year, they've been running a 2-quarterback system for most weeks. They've got Calandria and Musket in there and getting like significant snaps, it seems like. So how is that going to play? I mean, what's weird is they both seem to be doing like similar things, and that's kind of perplexing to me. But they're averaging a pretty good bit, in the past 10 games. They're 230 yards per game. completion. So, passing effectively. I don't know, man. I would stay away from this. I already told you, Mark, I'm not betting on any noon games. First of all, for the rest of for the rest of the season here, but I just is SMU gonna come out here and lay an egg? I mean, I know it's at Virginia. Um, I don't know, man. From a betting perspective, I'll have to do some more research to figure it out. But I'm still leaning SMU to cover here. I mean, nothing that I can see statistically tells me that SMU wouldn't be able to cover this. But like I said, I haven't sat down and watched Virginia play. And sometimes when you don't lay eyes on these teams, it's a little bit tough to gauge kind of where they're at.
Yeah, for Virginia to be able to beat SMU in this one, I think it's important. Like the way that Boston College was able to keep it close this past weekend. First of all, they got a turnover, but the turnover game was a wash. I don't think that was a big part of it. Boston College was able to win the time of possession, and it was able to play some keep away and keep SMU from scoring 48 points. Because if you give SMU all their chances and you turn the ball over and you give them extra chances, they're going to score points. That's what this team does. Can Virginia play keep away enough and nuke the clock? I don't know that this is a good setup for Virginia. The best thing they got going for them here is they're at home, and you catch SMU where they were on the road this past week at Boston College, right? So no, it was at home. So they're coming off of a home stretch. I don't know. I just feel like this is a bad setup for Virginia. The sleepy noon time always worries me. Give me SMU minus 9.5 in this one. I think I'm just going to ride with SMU. Look, SMU's been unstoppable unless teams were either able to hold the ball and run it and nuke the clock, or get turnovers, right? And I don't. I'm not going to sit here and bet on Virginia to get a bunch of turnovers here. Give me SMU. I think they can win this thing by 10. This number is going to go up, guys. So if you're wanting to bet on SMU, I would go ahead and do it now. What are your thoughts, Mason? What's your bet on it?
Yeah, like I said, I'm leaning SMU to cover here. 58.5 seems like a ton of points for an SMU team that's going to probably not put a ton out there on film. They don't really need to run the score up, I don't think, unless they're preparing for a loss in the ACC championship game. I might go under with this one. I think that might be a safer play, just to bet the under 58.5. That's still a ton of points for an SMU defense that does pretty good, a Virginia offense that isn't fantastic by any stretch. So I think, to me, the under is the play here, but give me SMU to cover on the line.